So today we're talking about the open house of the future. And I want to just spend some time thinking about the future of the open house because it will never be the same again. And I know some people are thinking about, can't wait till things go back to the way it was before. I just don't think it ever will. And there's some new technologies that will allow you to do an open house even bigger and even better than ever before. And it's not anywhere near the way you used to do it. The market has changed. The way that consumers interact online has changed. And right now is the perfect time to redefine your open house for the future. And I think you will get way ahead of the competition. You'll have a few months ahead of the competition and they'll try to copy what we're doing. But if you're with a company that does full marketing, you're going to be very much rewarded in the days ahead. A lot of agents have kind of taken on, thinking that the broker doesn't matter, the company doesn't matter, and they have really no ammunition to bring to the table when it comes to marketing. And they've given away all of that power and tried to manage it themselves. They're going to be in real trouble because you are going to need to be a marketing specialist and take advantage of this opportunity, and you'll need the tools to do it. So I'll show you those tools today. But before we start, there's a couple things I need to say. It's almost a disclaimer to make sure that we understand that we're not talking about cheating the system. We're not talking about hiding listings, because I am going to be talking about marketing listings before they go on the market. And we're talking about open houses. And California Association of Realtors doesn't want us even using the word open. But the CDC does not yet allow open houses in California. And with what we talk about today, we want to be completely compliant with this order. We'll be discussing the proper launch of a new listing and the scheduling of showings on a, let's call it a launch day, but that's what we used to call an open house. 2, the clear cooperation policy requires that you are not allowed to share a listing, market a listing, put up a sign, do anything with a listing until it's in MLS or within 24 hours of taking that listing. And many of you have been using the seller authorization to withhold from MLS. What I'm going to advocate is that on hold status and coming soon status is an active status in MLS, and that if you use that status, you can go ahead and do all of your marketing without any limitations and build a waiting list for a property. And so that when you launch it, it gets full market exposure. So we're not just talking about clear cooperation today, we're talking about enhanced clear cooperation, where we're giving all outside agents advance notice that a listing is coming soon, but we're doing that with the public as well. So here's what's happened is that COVID has changed forever how buyers look at homes. And you need to come to terms with how different it is right now. Some of you that are working with buyers, you're benefiting from that. And that's going to be fun for a while until the buyer's agent becomes obsolete in days ahead. But for now, it's creating a lot of online buyers who are looking specifically at Zillow. The opportunity that exists for you is that they don't find what they're looking for online. They're starting to look at other sources. And that's why we're getting so many calls from our company website. So, but COVID has changed, and that's not likely to go back. Zillow has changed how buyers look for homes as well. And it's more so now than ever before because of the pandemic. In fact, here is a skit from Saturday Night Live just 2 weeks ago, just to give you an idea of how mainstream Zillow is. You already knew this, but hey. So
we have a quick question. We have a question.
Yeah.
Someone asked, on coming soon, may they put up a sign?
Yes. On a coming soon, it's the same as putting it active in MLS. You can do everything. So it's the same as putting active in MLS. On a coming soon, all agents can see it. The public cannot. Sometimes it slips out to the public on certain sites that have weird arrangements and that are undermining our industry. But anything and everything you would do on an active listing, you can do on a coming soon. So that allows you to create a waiting list for when the property actually goes live. We'll get to that in a minute. So now Zillow wants to change how homes are shown to buyers. Now think about this, it goes another step further. Zillow wants to change how homes are shown to buyers. And so Zillow acquired Showing Time for $500 million. All of us know that Showing Time was kind of a challenging thing to make work. But Zillow, when they make decisions, it's based on what consumers want. And so you need to pay attention to what Zillow does, because Zillow is doing what consumers want. And so it's a good time to think about, if that's what consumers want, shouldn't we be doing it as well? And the reality is you can. And so the secret to their success is providing what users want, and you can do the same. So today I'm going to show you how to set up your own Showing Time system where, first of all, you create your own Zillow commercial, not your own Zillow commercial, you create your own commercial like that Saturday Night Live spot. I dare you. Just as sexy, talking about your website and how that people can schedule appointments with you. But I digress. You can do the same. So now you're seeing these postcards and headlines all the time, sold in one day with multiple offers for over asking price. But here's my problem with that. It was not because of anything the listing agent did. So right now, sellers are starting to realize that they can put their house on the market. It's going to sell in the next day before the agent prints a brochure, before the agent puts out any marketing. The house is going to sell itself, multiple offers over asking price. So my problem with that statement is that often that property never got full exposure. And so the seller will never know how much they could have gotten, even though they may break the record in the neighborhood. But my other part of it is it happened without any marketing. It happened without any agent expertise in creating demand, waiting lists. It was a completely market-driven sale, which is great for the seller, but it's bad for our industry. And that's why here in the desert, half of the listings are now 2.5% or below. We've seen a dramatic decline in compensation to buyers agents, and I'm sure that's the same on the listing agent side, because consumers are starting to question the value of a listing agent. And so today I want to talk about how that you can get in on that action so that when it happens, it's the result of an experienced and skillful agent, not just market conditions. Right now, honestly, anybody can put a house on the market, and if it sells, it's the market that sold it or the condition of the property. But that's the difference between a market-driven sale versus an agent-driven sale. So today, thinking about the open house of the future, you need to think about an agent-driven sale. I don't think these market conditions are going to go away anytime soon just because of the supply and demand. Interest rates could change, could slow things down, but we're in a deep supply and demand challenge that's going to go on for quite some time. So the open house of the future would be 2 weeks of marketing exposure to reach the entire marketplace before accepting an offer. If a seller accepts an offer prior to it being exposed to the entire marketplace, I question whether they got the highest possible price. Right now, homes are selling for more than agents think they will, more than sellers think they will. And so it needs to be the marketplace that sets the price and not the seller and not an agent. So 2 weeks of marketing is the only way that you'll know. Marketing should cover all media to reach all buyers. If all you have to do is put a house in the MLS to get it sold, we've become, a major part of our job has become obsolete. Marketing should make a difference in getting a house sold. A listing launch date should be managed and controlled by a highly skilled listing agent. So it's an agent who's demonstrating their value by managing the process and bringing value to the seller. So one of the key components that'll help you do this is a way of doing things that's kind of happening by default right now, where you'll have a new listing go on the market and you'll have a listing agent set up showings on 15-minute increments throughout the day. I know Kimberly did this last weekend for her listing in La Quinta. She just set up at that house for 3 days and was there for the showings. The sellers were gone. She was able to chat with the neighbors. There was a line outside of people waiting to see it. That was because of her pre-marketing that we're going to talk about today. And then ended up with 14 offers and got it into escrow. But that becomes quite a bit to manage, but there's some technology that'll help you with it. Here's one that I use. And like I said, Zillow is going to begin offering showings on their platform. So when consumers look at listings, there's going to be a handy button right there that says schedule a showing. And you know the implications of that for our industry. But my point is you can do the same thing. It's an important piece of how you conduct an open house in the future. Here's a video of how one company does it.
Calendly eliminates the back and forth. When you want to schedule a meeting, just share your link. Invitees can only pick from time slots that follow the rules you've created, so you're always in control of who you meet and when. Once your invitee picks a time, the meeting is added to all of your calendars. Calendly works with your most common business apps, securely integrating with your calendar, so it always knows your availability, automatically creating your web conferences, and updating your CRM as meetings are scheduled. It even sends invitees a reminder before the meeting. You can embed your Calendly link on your website and include it in your sales and marketing campaigns. Invitees will love being able to schedule without all the back and forth emails. And you'll love being able to focus on the work that really matters. Because in the end, it's not just about saving time. It's about building better relationships and getting more out of every day. To start using Calendly, sign up for a free trial today.
So that's how the professionals do it. It's been around for a while, and executives, professionals in business, that's how they do it. And with a lot of technology right now, your clients are more advanced than you are, so you may have some catching up to do. Calendly, let me get to the next screen. So here's how mine works. It's free, and I can set up different kinds of appointments people can have with me, but just to demonstrate for you today, I have this landing page I send people to, and they can schedule a showing for 123 Main Street. When they click on that, there's a calendar, and I'm going to launch this listing, for example, on the 6th and 7th. So those are the only days that are available to see this property. And people can, at 15-minute increvals, increvals? What's the word, you guys? I've messed this word up twice.
Increments.
Thank you very much, Peggy. Increments schedule their showing. Now on the back office of this, I set up this page. I set up what days and what times it's available, and those are the only days and times that show up, and people choose those. When they do, I get an email, they get an email. So what I'm suggesting is this becomes a standard part of how you interact with agents and with buyers. And you know, with buyers, as you saw from the Saturday Night Live spoof, last thing in the world they want to do is talk to an agent, but a lot of them will jump straight to scheduling an appointment. So here's another one. Write down this URL. This one is like Calendly, same type of system, but it's specifically for real estate, and it gives you more options on your landing page. So this is the landing page for a listing. For one listing, it's free. If you want all the other features, it's like 15 bucks a month. But here's Insta Showing. Insta Showing, I set up a landing page for my listing, and I put that link on all of my marketing, and people can go to this page and they can see the days that it's available to show and the time periods that are available. And this one, it has from 7 a.m. until 8:45 p.m. unless you get the paid version. If you don't get the paid version, if someone's scheduled at 7 o'clock, then you call them up and say, hey, I'm going to be walking my dog. We're going to have to do it later. But anyway, it's all there. They just put in their email and their phone number, and it clicks a confirmation. So here, what you set up with your sellers is, you know, these days we're talking about a listing launch, which is an open house where people schedule appointments to come see that open house. and it's confirmed with them, it's confirmed with you. So you're not sitting in an empty house all day, but you're sitting at a home where appointments have been scheduled to see that property. So that's Insta showing. And don't worry about the tutorial. Just go in there, set up a free account. It'll walk you right through setting that up. But the open house of the future is going to include broader market exposure, agent-driven listing launch, automated scheduling by appointment, waiting list enabled, and enhanced cooperation. Enhanced cooperation, I mean that agents are getting a heads up a week to 2 weeks in advance. And so if they've got clients that need to fly in from out of town, they can arrange that. And you've got a date that you set for the quote open house. Appointments are set at 15-minute or 30-minute increments. And it's well managed by the listing agent. And you've done the marketing to demonstrate your value so that when the multiple offers come in, the other thing I would suggest is setting the date for when offers will be evaluated and just get rid of all of the drama that everybody wants their offer accepted immediately right now. Set the date for the open house, set the date probably the following day or the day after when offers will be reviewed. And there's a clear understanding from everyone. It's more transparent, and it is gives the agent the ability to deliver more value.
Tom, we have a question.
What you got?
A couple people actually want to know, how do you manage PEDs and pre-qualifying buyers?
Same as always. I can't think of any way it would be different.
Okay.
Tom, Doug Fisher.
Uh-huh.
If you want to make certain, for example, sellers have requested that the buyers who are going to look at the home be pre-qualified with a pre-approval letter, a verification of funds. If we're trying to simplify the process with one click, we end up being on the phone with the buyer or their agent to obtain these items, correct?
You would, if you wanted to do that. You know, we are talking about an open house model where when you do an open house, you get a lot of looky-loos, and we want looky-loos. So it may be the same kind of conversation with a seller that you would have to a seller who's resistant to an open house. Say, no, we're not going to qualify buyers. We want them to get in to see it. And then later in the presentation, I'll show you how we're going to take it to a whole new level beyond that. But if you get into a situation where they just absolutely demand on qualifications, you'll have the contact information to be able to do that one-on-one.
Cool, thanks.
Good question, thank you. So open house of the future, agent-driven listing launch. Number one, enter the listing in MLS into coming soon or on hold. One placeholder photo. Don't give away the farm. Save that for when you actually go active in MLS. So no SELM, that the clear cooperation policy and the SELM was created for unethical agents who were hiding their listings. We're just not going to do that. 2, set up open house date and offers date. 3, execute 2 weeks of marketing in all media. And that has to include social media, internet, direct mail, email, video. And the benefit for you is that Listing Concierge does it all for you. Even if you have your own systems to try to get all this marketing done, when you get busy, it just doesn't happen. And the problem is the seller is disadvantaged. We want the seller to have the full advantage of complete marketing. And the thing that's undermining our industry right now is selling homes overnight without complete marketing does a disservice to the seller. And so Listing Concierge guarantees that happens no matter how busy or how broke you get, because we know that for a lot of listings, the marketing comes straight out of the agent's pocket. Notify all area agents by email alert, and Listing Concierge does that for you. Set up social media ads targeting active buyers in LA, Orange County, and San Francisco Bay Area with social ad engine. Now, Listing Concierge is going to do Home Spotter Boost. And those typically, our listings are getting about an average of 7,800 views per listing. But if you add to that social ad engine, you can do some of your own lead generation. And again, target the areas where buyers are coming from. And this is something to really get across to sellers in the desert area. The advantage to using a global company is that buyers are coming from outside the area. And so local agents or your on-site may be disadvantaged. We're just in a better position to reach outside buyers. So social ad engine gets that done for you. Set up a Calendly automated showing schedule and use that link in all of your marketing. Calendly or the Insta showing that I just showed you. Insta showing is probably a better option. Calendly is more complicated and hard to set up. 7, schedule appointments for buyers and agents with buyers on open house days at 15-minute intervals. Number 8, change to active status in MLS 48 hours prior to open house. The reason I say 48 hours is it takes 48 hours for listings to fully syndicate to some websites. There are those that will pick it up immediately, but we have gotten phone calls from sellers who are just irate because they checked and their listing still has not showed up on Redfin or on Zillow. And often those sites are slow in updating, even though they say they do instantly. But 48 hours to make sure that it gets full syndication. So what is Thursday is usually the best day to add a new listing to MLS because it gives it time to get out there for the weekend when buyers are most active. So when it comes to the open house of the future, as you can tell, you're going to be able to, instead of sitting in an empty house waiting for people to come through, you're going to go ahead and market it far and wide. The sellers aren't going to have to be out night after night, but you'd have them give you the dates that they want to block out for showings, and you go ahead and offer those dates. And they just say, you know, if you want to be an extraordinary agent, pay for the hotel room for a weekend away. But have the house to yourself, schedule the appointments, but do the pre-marketing ahead of time to build a waiting list. Now, builders have done this for years, and you can do it as well. And it's easy to do now because of the market. You can have the waiting list. You can have people lined up outside your listing. And you'll want to be ready for that. Take pictures, take video. You want to be able to show the public people lining up to get in to see your listing. But to make that happen, you need the kind of marketing that's going to reach the entire buying pool. So Listing Concierge does that for you. And I'm just going to review some what I think are minimum standards for the marketing that needs to happen before listing sells. Minimum standards. Let me find my play button here and just review what Listing Concierge does for you, and whether you have this done through Listing Concierge or you get it done yourself. I would say that these are minimums.
Each package includes professional photography, brochures, a property tour and website, TV spot, quality print publications, and a lot more. You will immediately stand out. You're professional, strategic, aggressive, and clearly the only choice to sell their home. Listing Concierge is also powerful ammunition when a seller asks you to reduce your commission. It helps you prove your value and show you are worth every cent and more.
It helps us articulate our value, and we've been having such a better success not having to reduce our commissions.
And what do you think happens when you unleash your marketing campaign? You'll draw attention to the property, that's a given. But you'll also draw attention to yourself, and that's the genius of Listing Concierge, turning one listing into 3.
Since the program started, 4 neighbors of listings we've had come and list with us, which I think is a direct effect from that. I mean, we usually do really, really well, but now we're doing exceptionally well.
I can show my list price, the sale price is much higher than all the others. And part of the reason for that is my marketing plan, which is Listing Concierge.
Listing Concierge will help you sell the property, but perhaps even more importantly, Listing Concierge will help you sell yourself. And it's all part of how Coldwell Banker boosts your production power and helps you live a more exceptional life.
Okay, so the words you heard in there over and over again is it's a way to show your value. And that's what I'm concerned about for agents in this market, is that the truth is homes can always sell themselves. That's what for sale by owner is all about. The home sells its house itself. It doesn't need, excuse me, it doesn't need marketing. It doesn't need all this stuff that agents say that they do. I can just put a sign in front of my house and it will sell itself. And I just don't agree with that. I believe that it's better to, even if a FSBO has their own buyer prearranged, list with me, let me market the property and force your buyer to compete with the entire marketplace. If they go ahead and buy the property, I'll be happy for you, but at least in this way, you will know you've gotten top dollar. So this is what I consider to be the minimum standard now. Professional photography used to be optional, and now it's a minimum standard, I would say. A single property website, you know, when someone gets ready to sit down and write an offer on a property, they're going to look at the brochure they picked up on the property, or they're going to look at the website or look at your marketing. And that's where you're reminding them of the unique features and the beauty of that property. It affects the offer that they write. A just listed e-flyer, notice to area agents, you know, 75% of agents are part-time. They don't check the MLS every day like you do. So that email notification becomes valuable, and just so many other things. But now it's gotten to where it's just more work than an agent can handle. And it's just too tempting to bypass doing any marketing, put a sign in the yard and let it sell itself. But that's short-sighted when it comes to our industry and your value as an agent. So that's where it's established. So now I want to blow your mind a little bit. Are you guys ready? Tell me you're ready. Tell me you're ready.
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 Ready to roll.
Ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
Ready.
Thank you.
Ready.
Okay, here's the next level, you guys. I don't know how many of you remember the mega open house. The mega open house we used to do when you would plan an open house 2 or 3 weeks in advance. It would be the first week your listing goes on the market. We had agents that would rent an In-N-Out burger truck to come out, or clowns to perform in the driveway, and they would make it a community event. It would be a party for the whole community. And they would have 50 or 60 people come through their open house. They would on Friday or Saturday do a neighbors only sneak preview, because the agents all want to see it, you know, so they would do a neighbors only sneak preview. I did a red carpet rollout of the January inventory one year, and we had agents rent red carpets and like the clubs. We go inside the club, they had the standards with the red velvet ropes and and balloons. We had all of that just to make a scene. And so it was called a mega open house. And then COVID shut all that down. But if you understand how marketing and this appointment setting works, you can do a mega open house by appointment. And I would suggest you could take the day before it goes live and do a neighbors only by invitation, scheduled online. You know, the great thing about it is you get 15, 30 minutes with each neighbor instead of an open house where you sit all day waiting and then 50 people come through at once. But there's some other things that you can do to liven it up. Perhaps drawings, prizes, giveaways. So a neighbors only sneak peek. So when you conquer this thing of marketing a listing, not waiting for the MLS, but marketing a listing and scheduling the appointments, a lot of things become possible. So here's a postcard that goes out to the neighborhood, a sneak peek, neighbors only, Saturday on the March 4th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. by appointment only, and you give them the link to schedule their time to come by and see the new listing in the neighborhood. Here's some other things to liven it up. With Clients for Life, our program Clients for Life, we're doing drawings on a regular basis. I think it was Home Depot. Was that a $500 gift card we just allowed people to register to win? And this is, you just have the form on your iPad when people come through, or you enter them, and they can enter to win a $500 gift card to Home Depot. Or the other one we just gave out was a smart home technology package. Another one you can see here at the bottom was the food drive. So potentially you could say we're doing a food drive, neighbors only, sneak peek, see your neighbor's house you've been anxious to see. It's going on the market, bring by canned food donations for our food drive. So there's some things you can do to liven it up. I don't know about you, but when I thought about this and when I realized it just blew my mind, the possibilities that are now available to me once I understand that I don't have to sit around waiting for people at an open house. I can schedule them ahead of time. Inviting neighbors and friends. So when I do that, this is Facebook. So now I can set up an event on Facebook for my new listing. It's a sneak peek open house. And you'll notice from your buttons over here, you're able to invite friends. So you just click on invite, and then your friends list pops up, and you just start invite. So this is where sphere of influence, past clients, for them to see you doing business, or for them to stop by and say hi, or to participate in the food drive. So you invite them and they get an invite on Facebook for your sneak peek open house. And the day of, they get a reminder. So that's a Facebook event. The thing to understand is that the audience for your open house marketing is not the people who will actually attend your open house. It's the people who will see your marketing for your open house. That's what you're going for. Because you might get 20 or 30 people to come by your open house or by your appointment only listing launch. I'm sorry, we'll put it that way until COVID standards change, to your appointment only listing launch. However, if you do the marketing correctly, there'll be about 10,000 people that will see it. A social ad engine ad for $129 will reach about 5,000 people. The HomeSpotter Boost, same kind of situation, where you're able to reach thousands of people. They'll never show up at your open house, but they'll see your marketing. Your listing concierge marketing reaches a massive audience. And if your goal is just to get people to your open house, you've missed it. Events are not measured by the number of people that show up. Events, the success of your event is measured by the number of people who see your marketing because you did the event, or the people you talked to, the people you engaged with, the people who called you and asked you questions and all of that. It generates activity. So here's social ad engine. Again, you can see I just create a campaign. And here's I changed my image to the sneak peek for the neighborhood. And I target the community. It's kind of hard to do neighbors only anymore because there's a 15-mile diameter minimum. But maybe this is the ad that you run for that first weekend, the Saturday or the Sunday, or the Saturday and the Sunday when you're doing your listing launch. And again, and check this out. When they click on learn more, that takes them straight to the landing page to schedule their appointment to see it. Consumers, I mean, Zillow knows this. That's why they're spending $5 million. Is consumers want to bypass the whole back and forth. They just want to see the dang house. And when you give them a direct line to see the house, you're their favorite realtor. Here's your InTouch website. On your InTouch website, you can create a landing page for your listing before it goes into MLS. So it going to your InTouch website, into listings and marketing, and you create a custom listing. So this one, you can see it shows the open house dates, a preview photo. It also shows some other listings, similar listings in the area. And in the description, you can go ahead and put the link to your single property website or to the scheduling page. So the agent of the future is an agent that must be a listing agent. Buyer commissions are declining, and agents that are working with buyers are spending usually about 50% of their commission either paying for the leads or the expenses involved in it, but it's a labor intensive and a low income position in real estate that I'm anticipating becomes obsolete quickly. The agent of the future must dominate the appointment setting game. If you want to get ahead of where things are headed online, consumers we've always said they're online, but now more than ever before. And you want to get really good at giving them direct access to properties. That's what they want. I remember in 2002, 2003, when I got started, I did a ton of business because I was one of the first agents that I would offer buyers to see the photos of the property online. Zillow exists today because they started offering photos of properties online. Now, the next step in that game is offering the ability to see properties quickly and conveniently and easily. The agent of the future must demonstrate their value in marketing, or our value goes away if we're not able to show that we increase the sales price of homes by professional and expert marketing. The agent of the future must be a master of managing the listing launch. And I'm saying that because I think our lack of inventory goes far beyond just the temporary. We've got a decade of lack of building and supply of inventory. And now we've got, coming out of COVID, I'm just kind of wondering, are we going to have a baby boom? But the agent of the future is someone you think about the future. Don't allow yourself to keep thinking it's going to go back to the way it was. It's not. And I hope that I can have encouraged you today to really re-examine the open house and think about the way it used to be, but the way it can be now. I didn't give you a lot of detail on how to do a lot of these things because you really have to dig in and make it work. We're already seeing agents making it work. You'll have to learn how to use the tools. You learn how to be a master of marketing, and then also of scheduling appointments with people and getting them in to see a house. If it's just Matterport and putting 60 photos online, all you've done is documented the house. You haven't really marketed it. A real professional is someone who can orchestrate a powerful listing launch, create demand, negotiate offers, and use marketing to stage, photograph, present the assets of a home and the things that give it its value in a way that people will pay a higher price. That's your job. And you want to be really, really, really good at that. So with that being said, do you have any questions or comments? Go ahead and put those in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Linda has her hand up.
Thanks, Tom. I just want to be clear on the launch day, the sneak peek. That has to be created as it is actually on the market, not in the coming soon status. Is that correct?
It would be, so you put it active in MLS on Thursday, it would be in MLS active status, and because you'd be doing showings, say, on Saturday.
Right. Okay, so you can just schedule and be at the house for the neighborhood sneak peek
if
in
it's not
15-minute increments.
Right. If it's still on coming soon or on hold status, and you're doing actual showings like the sneak peek, I would ask your local board what the specific rules are.
Okay, I don't know what IVAR would do, so okay, I'll ask them. Thank you.
Other questions? You know, all of these issues that come up, if your strategy and your motive is to give more people access and to give more agents more access, you're going to be on the right side of the rules. So that's the part to keep in mind. Other questions?
There's nothing in the chat box.
Well, I'm glad that I answered all the questions. We are at 9:49, We've got a great audience here. Does anybody want to plug your listing before we go? I just got a hand up from Victor.
Anna Hurley has her hand up as well.
What you got, Anna?
Hi, I have a beautiful listing in Revelle on Clancy Lane. It's a 4-bedroom, 5-bath, 3,700 square foot Mediterranean home with a courtyard pool with beautiful mountain views. The price is $2,195,000. HOAs are $250,000. And I would love for everyone to come and look at it.
Awesome. That was a perfect pitch. Anything else on that? So when's it available to see, Anna?
Anytime except for this weekend. This weekend, the family's coming down for one last hurrah.
Okay. Will you email me the details on that one?
Sure.
Thank you.
We have a question. Isn't the sneak peek purpose to show it to neighbors before the listing goes active?
Yep. It's a good question, but I'm not commenting a whole lot on that because it really kind of gets into a gray area that I'm not sure about. But yes, the purpose is to show it to neighbors before it goes active. You just want to check with the local board to make sure you're okay doing that. You know, you can be, sneak peek could be showing it to agents, to neighbors before it goes active, or you can state it another way. It's for agents to be the first to see it. So if you're showing it to the public on Sunday, maybe you're showing it to neighbors on Saturday. But I wouldn't want to withhold it from active status in MLS to be able to show neighbor. You need it active in MLS 48 hours before you're public. Okay. Anything else? All right, you guys, I think you get it because this is sort of semi happening.